Hey everybody, this is Robot here, Vespa Motorsport, or our mail order operations at scooterwest.com. What am I sitting on here? Oh, this is a new Piaggio Liberty 150. Back in, I guess it was 2002, 2001, Piaggio in the United States imported the Liberty 150 back then for 2 years, I think it was. They call it the LT 150. I guess they didn't call it the Liberty because there's like the Jeep Liberty. I don't know if that would be a trade infringement, but whatever. That's the old and this is the new here. This 2017 Liberty, it shares a nearly identical motor to the one found on the Vespa Sprint and Primavera, but at a much lower base price. New 2017 Primavera with ABS. This also includes ABS. Retails for $5,099. This new Liberty is pretty much a real similar ride, plastic body, similar motor, ABS front brakes, fuel injection to LED running lights. A lot of the same features you'd find on the Sprint or Primavera, and it comes in at $3,099. So you get a very high quality scooter for about $2,000 less than a comparable Vespa. And it's only priced a little bit more than the lower end products, you know, in its segment. You know, for instance, the Buddy 125, or it's very closely priced to the Fly and the Typhoon. But to me, it's a no-brainer. If you're buying a new scooter in this price range, this would be the one I would get. Also pretty similar to the Honda PCX or what is it, Yamaha S-Max, similar price. I think those do run a few $100s more than this bike. This you're going to get a lot more. You're getting the ABS brakes in the front, the Piaggio, the tried and true 3-valve fuel injected motor that they have. That's got quite quick performance. It also has the options where you can put the cylinder kit on it pretty easily. If you watch our video on installing the cylinder kit on a Sprint or Primavera, you pretty much would turn this little scooter into a wheelie monster. But out of the box, it performs very nice. I'll pull it outside and show you how it rides and all that kind of fun stuff. But pretty much the instrumentation is almost identical to the Sprint and the Primavera. It's just the main difference is a plastic body, and it's got the larger diameter wheels, which are, you know, a lot better for stability. Kind of a nicer ride in many regards versus the Vespa 11 or 12-inch wheels that are found on the Sprint and Primavera. But the dashboard is identical, just a little bit different shape. Same functions. You got a clock, you got trip odometers, 2 of them, mode, total miles, fuel gauge electronic. There's the anti-lock brakes that extinguishes once you ride off. Another neat feature is it's got the electronic seat pop. I'll jump off this. And on your left hand, right next to the horn, you got the left button. No key. You don't have to put your key in the side of the scooter. You don't have to turn the ignition switch in some funky position like you do on a Honda PCX. Or this is just like the much higher end GTS or Sprint or Primavera. They have electronic seat pop, but at a price that's about $2,000 less. The under seat bucket storage is quite generous. You can easily fit like a 3/4 face or half shell and maybe a smaller full face helmet in there. Got a battery compartment in the back. Gasoline's locked underneath the seat, so there's no exposed cap. Includes this little ring that catches the fill. This is something that's not found on the Vespas, and it's quite a nice thing. I've filled these up, and unfortunately sometimes you get a little bit of overfill when you're filling a bike at the fast pace of a pump. At least these California pumps that are a pain in the butt to use. But it's pretty nice without that, with a little catch tray that diverts it away. Here you got 2 little pegs to hang a helmet. You could just hook your helmet right around here. I don't have the helmet to demo it, but you just hook it right there, close the seat, and it locks your helmet. Pretty nifty little features found on many other products as well. This scooter has got a couple options on it. we put the Piaggio rubber floor mat, and in the description of this video, we have the part numbers, all these. We have these all in stock, all the accessories. It has a short fly screen. It kind of gives it a sporty look. There's also a full-size screen, and I would say it's up to the bill of my cap. These scooters are too new. I haven't really mounted one for a customer yet, but I've mocked one up on one of these scooters. If you want ultimate weather and wind protection, I would go with the original Piaggio full-size screen. And the neat thing with all the Piaggio and Vespa products, unlike all other brands of scooters, is they have a unique system for mounting windshields. You loosen these two lock nuts and you're able to easily remove the windshield. That's something that's not found on other makes. You know, the windshields you find on like the Buddy or all the Hondas, it mounts to either the fairing and you got to take a bunch of screws out, or it's got some goofy brackets that go off the mirror. You know, Scott can zoom over to that Buddy. You know, it's like, to me, it's kind of a goofy setup. This Piaggio is like the engineering that they did for this windshield mounting. That's found on pretty much all their products, is quite ingenious, and it works very good. Another accessory that's found on this scooter is it's got the accessory side stand. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't include the side stand, but it's very easy to get up on the center stand. The side stand also includes a electrical safety switch, so the scooter cannot be started and ridden off when the side stand's down. And there's the standard equipment center stand. To me, it's got more leverage than you'd find on the Vespa. Very easy to get up on the stand. And also with the larger wheels, it kind of rolls a little easier. For the rear, there's also a factory top case that's color matched to the color of the scooter. This is, I don't know, I like this color. It's kind of a metallic candy red color. They also come in metallic blue. The one parked right next to us, a white. And there's also a titanium finished one that's also an S model. The red and the titanium, they have the suffix of the S or the Sport, just kind of more or less the trim package. You can see on the white one it comes with silver rims. The Sport models come with a black rim with a spun aluminum edge. It looks pretty sharp. Something you won't find on any other scooter of this price range or class. It's quite nice. You know, something that's found on the much higher end Vespa products, but it's trickled down. Have a lot of pretty nice chrome finishes, like an Audi-esque kind of running light, like the light bar kind of look, and not the individual LEDs. Kind of gives it quite a modern appearance. For the European market ones, this would be also the turn signal. For the American market, they have a stock turn signal. In my opinion, it's integrated a little bit better than what Piaggio and Vespa has done on the Vespa products. It's kind of nice. I'll bring them outside. I'll show you how it rides and the seat height. I think it's a little bit lower than the Vespa. I can't recall off the top of my head what the seat height is. It is slightly higher than a Honda PCX, and I think by maybe a half-inch higher than a Buddy, but it's definitely lower than any of the Vespa products available. So, in the front, you got quite a large diameter disc for this class of scooter with a double piston brake. You could see this tone wheel, as they call it, and that's the pickup and the sensing for the anti-lock braking system. And in the rear, it's got the traditional drum brakes, which is perfectly adequate for the scooters. And in fact, it's lower maintenance than a disc brake, no fluid to change, and it's a simple cable to adjust, on the standard service intervals. No big deal. Nice thing about the drum brakes is they last, compared to a disc brake, they usually last 2 to 3 times longer because they have so much more surface area on the drum brake shoes. And I feel they're perfectly adequate for this class of scooter, having a drum brake in the rear. The motors received some updates. They call the new 150 motor the I-Get motor. You can see the badge on it. The main difference is internally it's identical to the motors found on all the Vespa and Piaggio product, or most of the Vespa and Piaggio products from 2014 and later. They've made some internal updates to the belt cover, the air filter, and the muffler to make the engine quieter. And then I've ridden them back to back to the older engine, the older version. The older version is very quiet. This one's, it's like the quietest scooter in its class. And I know some people like a little bit more noise, but to meet all the newest emission standards, and in Europe, Euro 4 emissions, they must, it's mandatory to have a much quieter engine design, the anti-lock brakes, and just some other probably emissions changes. I know that fuel injections changed a little bit. Once you ride a fuel injected bike, you kind of don't want to go back to the old carburetors that, you allow it to sit for 2 months and you're dealing with pulling the carburetor out and cleaning all that. In the front, there's also a glove box that opens. Enough storage to put a cell phone and maybe your wallet or some spare change or whatever. And again, built into the key switch, there's no external weirdness to open it, and it locks once you're, once it's all locked down. The whole scooter is locked down with the central key system there, so you can't open the seat. Steering's locked and the glove box is locked all when you take the key out in the lock position. Here you got a bag hook. I've always found these to be pretty useful on the Vespas, and they carry you over to the Piaggio products. You can take a cloth like shopping bag, wrap it around a couple times. Gives you just extra storage that's not really in the way when you're riding down the road. Unique to this scooter is it's got nice passenger pegs that add to the comfort of a passenger riding on the scooter, something that's not found standard on the Vespa 150s or a scooter like the Buddy. Similar design to what's found on the Honda PCX, but definitely adds to the passenger comfort. And also if you're on a long trip, sometimes it's nice to move your feet to the back. And I've found motorcycles, scooters, everything I ride. Long trips, it's nice to use the Buddy pegs kind of just to move your feet from the standard position. So those are fold out, fold in. All right, so I'm sitting on it. I think my height is like 5'8" or something. Definitely a pretty comfortable ride. Nice compact package, but still plenty of comfort. I found a lot of other smaller scooters in this class. I find my knee gets too close to the handlebars and the steering sweep, and I found that this is a lot more comfortable than many of the other models I've ridden of similar class scooter. So I'm gonna do a little ride by with it. And even with the larger wheels, I find this is quite maneuverable. I can turn pretty tight circles. The steering is quite tight for it. Much like a Vespa, because many of the larger wheel scooters, I find that they kind of have a slower handling, at very low speeds. At the expense of being a little bit better stability at the higher speed. And that's pretty typical of the larger wheel scooters, is you sacrifice the low speed maneuverability for the higher speed. But I don't find that to be a sacrifice on this model, or this Liberty, versus something like the Honda PCX. Honda PCX has a little bit longer wheelbase, so that makes it a little bit slower and not quite have as tight of a turning radius. So here we got the Honda PCX 150, ironically in a very similar color to this Liberty 150. And as I suggested, it runs, I think it's $350 more as the MSRP on the Honda. If you look at the instrumentation on it, it's a pretty nice instrument, but there's no clock on it, does not have a trip odometer. It's just not quite as deluxe as what you get out of the Liberty 150. There's no ABS on this model. It does have link brakes, which allows for a little quicker stopping. Similar setup, disc in the front, and a drum in the rear. The storage arrangement's a lot different on this. You know, the fuel door, it's located right here, and it's got this little switch here that does it. And then the seat, look at that. The Liberty has a spring that holds the seat up. This is something the Honda doesn't include, you know. And Hondas usually, they kind of have their stuff pretty well thought out. I will give it the advantage it's got a larger bay, you know, overall for the underseat storage. It's not quite as deep, but it's a little wider. But it's kind of nice that they got the spring assist for the seat on the Liberty. You know, a little bit different style. This scooter's got handlebars and a fixed fairing, while the Liberty's got the more traditional motorcycle look, which I prefer over the kind of Honda sport bike look. Some people might like that look a little bit better. The Honda PCX is quite a popular scooter, I'll admit, but you know, the Liberty is definitely a little bit more deluxe product. I mean, this has got flat black wheels. The Liberty's got two-tone wheels on it, LED running lights, a little bit more trim. Kind of the trim, the fit and finish is nearly identical between the two. Honda products are pretty top-notch in my opinion. I've always been a long-time Honda fan. But fit and finish is on par between the two. I would say it's real similar fit and finish, and much higher level than you find in something like a Lance or a genuine Buddy. Other subtle differences: the Liberty has 2 inches larger on the front wheel. It's got a 16-inch front wheel versus the 14-inch of the Honda. And I'll show you sitting on each one. The Honda is not a true step-through design. It's got more of a kind of floorboards and a center tunnel. It's just a different design. The way they were able to get a slightly larger underseat storage was by putting the fuel tank in the center on the scooter. The room, to me, it feels pretty good. I personally do not like the seat on the Honda. You can't move around nearly as much. You're kind of right up against the thing. This pad right here. While on the Liberty, you can move around. And I find that the same to be on like the Vespa 300 Supers. I like the longer flat seat. That's just my preference. You're able to move around a lot easier. So you can see, kind of look at my position. Like I said, I'm 5'8". Sorry, I don't know my inseam off the top of my head, but this is how I sit on the Honda. It's got a side stand from the factory, something that's accessory on the Liberty. I'll give it credit there. You know, very similar seat height and feel for the most part. And again, having the open center is a little easier to step through the bike. You got the hook that you can hold more stuff. To me, it's kind of a no-brainer having the anti-lock brakes. To me, it's a lot more value out of the Piaggio product that they've just released in the United States here for the Liberty 150. Hope that helps with your buying decisions. If you're looking at a scooter in the $3,000 price range, you really can't go wrong with this Liberty right here. And if you're considering scooters in the $2,000 price range, you know, which will barely get you into a Buddy, it will get you onto a Lance. I'll tell you, those products are so much lower quality than what you get out of Piaggio or, I don't know, other competitions such as Honda and Yamaha. You know, to me, it's a no-brainer. Just spend a little extra, get a name brand product. And if you're not going to go for a Piaggio, like I said, there's other much nicer products that will have, you know, a much longer service life on them. You'll always be able to get parts from any of the reputable brands such as Piaggio, Vespa, Honda, Yamaha. You really can't go wrong. But again, my favorite for this class range is this new Liberty 150. Again, $3,099 MSRP, and this is Robot here at Vespa Motorsport in San Diego, California. If you're interested in purchasing a scooter from us, whether you're here in San Diego or you're overseas in Hawaii, across the country, down in Mexico, we can help you out. Give us a call, 619-280-1718. Give our vehicle sales team a call. Their extension is 604.